Hello. There are a number of items that need to be addressed at the end of each plan year, and today we will be covering those requirements. This will include annual notice requirements, completion of the annual census request, and how RPC uses the census information to complete the annual compliance testing. Annual notices are required to be distributed to plan participants 30 days prior to the beginning of each plan year. For example, a plan year ending December 31st would need to have these notices distributed by December 1st. These notices are designed to notify participants of their rights and obligations under the plan and also inform participants of the Qualified Default Investment Alternative, or the QDIA. The QDIA is the fund that participants will be invested in if they do not select funds in the enrollment process. This is also where the money will be invested if a participant receives an employer contribution and is not previously enrolled. You should receive an email the month before your new plan year begins, November for calendar year plans, from your RPC consultant with the instructions for downloading and sending out the annual notices. The census request. This requests basic information about the plan, as well as employee compensation, contributions, and other basic employment information such as hire dates and hours worked. RPC uses this information to complete the required annual compliance testing for the plan. Shortly after your plan year ends, you will receive an email with a secure link to complete the census. For a calendar year plan, this email would be sent in the second week of January. It is important to complete this task as soon as possible to allow RPC time to complete testing and make any requested contribution calculations prior to the company's tax filing deadline so that the company can fund those contributions and those contributions can be deducted on the corporate tax returns. We request the census be completed by the 15th day of the second month following your plan year end. For a 12/31 year-end plan, this would be February 15th. A reminder that we will always be requesting information for the plan year that was just completed, not the current plan year. Let's walk through some of the steps involved in completing the census. These steps allow you to review and confirm the company information RPC has on file for the plan. Any changes needed can be made by updating the information within the data collection area of the Plan Sponsor Link portal. Step 1 contains the company contact information, which includes the address and phone number for the company. Step 2 is the employer company data, which includes information such as the EIN, entity type, and NAICS business code. The third step covers ownership information for the company. If you have a company that is owned by an entity, the company will need to be listed and 100% entered as ownership. Any changes or corrections can be made by using the Edit, Delete, or Add buttons. Step 4 is about the family relationships. We need to know if any employees of the company are related to the principals listed in Step 3 to accurately complete testing. We only need information for those related and employed by the sponsoring employer. If they do not work for the company, we don't need their information. Step 5 is about business ownership. This is where information will be entered about any companies also owned by the principals of the company sponsoring the retirement plan. Step 6 is about plan contacts. This is where you will verify the current contact information for the primary plan contact, secondary plan contact, advisor, or payroll contact. Please note that you can only have one primary plan contact listed, but you can have multiple secondary plan contacts, payroll contacts, or advisors. You can update this information by adding a contact change request next to the contact you are wishing to change, or by adding a note via the upper right-hand corner. Step 7 is the Annual Employer Questionnaire. This section has several questions about the company and the plan, such as, is the company filing an extension on their tax return? This is very important for the RPC consultant to know so that your compliance testing and filings are completed in a timely manner. Another question is whether bonuses and commissions are included in compensation. This is also very important because it can affect the percentage of the employer contribution. We also ask if you would like RPC to calculate a profit-sharing contribution, and if you would, there is another line to enter the total dollar amount or manner in which you would like RPC to calculate a profit-sharing calculation. Profit-sharing contributions are deductible to the company and can often be a great way to additionally compensate employees. Step 8 contains 5,500 short form questions. An important question in this step asks if the plan is covered by a fidelity bond. If your plan is not covered by a fidelity bond, you should receive an email from your RPC representative with more information about obtaining coverage. Step 9 is the employee census data. This is an Excel spreadsheet that contains information such as date of birth, date of hire, compensation, hours, deferrals for the year, and employer contributions. This spreadsheet can be exported so that you can update the information and then import it back into the system. You can also edit the current information by selecting the Edit button next to the employee you are wanting to update. Step 10 is the approval of the information you have provided. It will ask you to click Sign and Submit. It will also ask you to provide your contact information. A confirmation email will be sent to the email provided. A few important dates to cover. If your plan is not a safe harbor plan, testing must be completed by the ADP ACP refund deadline, which is the 15th day of the third month of your plan year in the case that our ADP ACP refunds are needed. This date would be March 15th for a calendar year-end plan. If your plan is not a safe harbor plan, it is imperative that you complete the census as soon as possible to ensure this deadline is met. Employer contributions must be made by the tax filing deadline, and that does include extensions. The tax filing deadline for most calendar year-end plans is March 15th or April 15th. Therefore, if an extension has been filed, the deadline would be September 15th or October 15th. Please work with your company's CPA or accounting professional if you are uncertain of your company's tax filing deadline. The 402G limit refund deadline is April 15th. This is the annual employee deferral limit, which can change each year. RPC checks to make sure that there were no employees who went over the deferral limit, and if there were, refunds would need to be made prior to April 15th. If you have an employee that works for multiple companies and is contributing to the maximum IRS limits, please ensure they are not contributing to another employer-sponsored retirement plan, as these limits are combined per individual. This wraps up our presentation. Any questions that you have can be directed to your dedicated plan consultant. If you are not sure who your plan consultant is, or if you just have a general question, you can always contact RPC's customer service line at the number or email address listed below. Thank you very much for your time.